Good morning students, this is Papiya Miss and you are watching the online class of Anandu Multimedia School and College. Welcome back to the biology class. Students, today I am back with a new lesson focusing on a very important topic. My previous class was about the light dependent phase. In this class, I will be discussing about the light independent phase of photosynthesis or Kelvin cycle. You know students, 73 years ago, that means in 1947, American biochemist Dr. Melvin Kelvin of California University discovered the carbon reduction pathway. He used radioactive carbon, that means the C14, to trace the process, and this process is known as the Kelvin cycle. This process, why Kelvin cycle is known as, this process is known as the Kelvin cycle after his name. In this process, there are also two pioneer workers. So we should know their names. Obviously, the pioneer one, first one is the Dr. Melvin Kelvin. Biochemist Dr. Melvin Kelvin. Number 2, Andrew Benson. Biologist Andrew Benson. And number 3 is James Allen Basham. So these three are the pioneer workers for the Kelvin cycle. And we can also call this cycle as CBB cycle. C from Kelvin, B from Benson, and another B from Basham. So Kelvin cycle is also known as the CBB cycle after the names of these three scientists. So Kelvin cycle, CBB cycle. Now why it is called the C3 cycle? The first stable compound in the Kelvin cycle is the 3-carbon compound 3-phosphoglyceric acid. That's why it is known as the C3 cycle. So CBB, Kelvin, C3. Why C3? C means carbon and 3 means 3 carbon. So it is C3 cycle, right? Now we will also know another term for Kelvin cycle, and this is the light independent phase. That means no light is directly required, but this process can be carried out in presence of sunlight. That's why it is known as the light independent phase or the dark phase. So these all are the same name. That means Kelvin cycle, CVV cycle, C3 cycle, light independent phase and dark phase all denote the Kelvin cycle. Okay students, the plants which follow this cycle are known as the C3 plants. So we should know some examples of C3 plants. About 85% of the plant species are C3 plants. They include rice, barley, wheat, most of the trees, and if you know the other names, you can follow the SSC post. S means soybean, second S means spinach, third S means sugar beets, P means peanuts, O means oats, another S means sunflower, and T means tobacco. So these are the examples of the C3 plants. You know students, there are 3 processes for the production of glucose, and these are C3, C4 and CAM. C3, C4 and CAM. And none of these 3 are mentioned in your SSC textbook. Listen attentively if you want to learn. Now we will learn the very simple, short and the easy diagrammatical representation of Kelvin cycle. There is a compound which is known as the ribulose 1,5-bis phosphate. What is this? This is a 5-carbon sugar, and you will find this 5-carbon sugar in the mesophyll cells of plants. If I draw this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is the first carbon and this is the 5th carbon, and in the first position you will find one phosphate, and in the 5th position you will find also another phosphate. So this is called 1,5-bis phosphate, ribulose 1,5-bis phosphate, right? Students, now we will know how to draw the diagrammatical representation. For that just follow me. Students, I will use some new terms, and these terms are new for you, and if you memorize these terms you can write the whole representation. First of all, I will write ribulose 1,5-bis phosphate, and we will find this in the mesophyll cells of the plant, and carbon dioxide is accepted by this ribulose 1,5-biphosphate. You can write here also carbon dioxide is accepted by ribulose 1,5-biphosphate. Ribulose is 5 carbon, and from carbon dioxide we are getting another carbon. So 5 plus 1 equal to 6. That's why the product we will get is the 6 carbon product, and the name of this product is keto acid. Unstable keto acids, an intermediate 6 carbon compound. This keto acid instantly converted to another compound when it reacts with water. So I will write here water. This keto acid reacts with water and produces 3-phosphoglyceric acid. This 3-phosphoglyceric acid is the first stable compound in this cycle. That's why it is known as the C3 cycle. This is 3 carbon, that's why 3, and carbon, so we are writing C. C3 cycle. 3-phosphoglyceric acid, first stable compound. Students, in this representation, in this process, in this chemical reaction, whatever you say, lots of enzymes are associated. I am not mentioning these names. Why? Because it will become very difficult for you for SSC level. In the HS, you can learn these names. If I write this, it will become very difficult. You just only memorize the products, not the enzymes. That will be easier. First stable compound, 3-phosphoglyceric acid. I am just giving some boxes for better understanding. Students, it was 6 carbon. We are getting 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So 2 molecules, 3 carbon. What happens then? Using the ATP and NADPH2 of the light phase, it converts to 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. From this 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, we will get fructose 1,6-bis phosphate. Again, from this 1,6-bis phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate. through many different consecutive chemical processes. From fructose 6-phosphate, carbohydrate is produced in one way. So I am writing carbohydrate plus ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Students, this ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate again enters the Kelvin cycle. And you should remember another thing is that for one molecule of glucose, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide is needed. That's why ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate enters this cycle, and the Kelvin cycle circulates 6 times. Students, I am mentioning again and again that is, there are lots of enzymes, okay, and these enzymes are very much helpful for the production of these products. But I am not writing these enzymes for better understanding, for better memorizing for SSC level, okay students. So this was the Kelvin cycle. You can write here the diagrammatical representation of Kelvin cycle. Students, this is the most simple, easy and short diagrammatical representation of Kelvin cycle. I am just revising this for your better understanding. This is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Carbon dioxide is accepted by ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate and it forms, you can write here forms. It's your wish if you want. It forms an intermediate 6-carbon compound which is very unstable, and instantly it reacts with water and breaks down and produces 3-phosphoglyceric acid. 3-carbon compound, 2 molecules. Now, this is the first stable compound. That's why this cycle is also known as the C3 cycle. And using ATP and NADPH2, which was produced in the light phase, it converts into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. After a lots of consecutive chemical reactions, these two products produce carbohydrate using specific enzymes. So from 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, we will get fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. From fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, fructose 6-phosphate, and from fructose 6-phosphate, carbohydrate and ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. This 1,5-bisphosphate enters the Kelvin cycle, and after these 6 cycles we get only 1 molecule of glucose. Now students, I am erasing this. Now if I write what is in the Kelvin cycle and what is out from this cycle. Now if I summarize this, what will I get? Suppose in and this is out. 6 carbon dioxide and 1 molecule of glucose. 18 ATP. From this 18 ATP, ultimately we will get 18 A, D and P and 12 NADPH2. We will get 12 NADP. So students, this was all about the Kelvin cycle. If you have any queries or any problem, write in the comment section. We are always with you to solve. That's all for today. Stay safe, stay immune, stay connected. See you later.